What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Out today with the Dizzle. It's cold. We've not caught anything yet, but we're not giving up. Dizzle said he caught a bunch here the other day, and so far nothing. So Dizzle, the guide service, so far 1 star out of 10. There's one. All right, out by some wood. The old Spinnerbaits. Hey, first fish on here. Typical Debo fashion here. It is a monster. Dirty water. Throw in the Booyah. This is the smaller size they came out with, the Finesse Covert Spinnerbait. Look at that whitish gold pale fish in real dirty water here. All right, well, he felt the old spinnerbait. You can see even in that dirty water, that's what we're throwing. All right, good enough for one so far. Any others out here? I'm covering water, fishing the edges of these rocky fishing jetties. I ended up hopping around. The fish were not piled on these. This was a few weeks back. Since then, we've had some cold fronts and stuff, so I'm sure they've moved out. But on this one, I'm really just trying to cover water in and around these fishing jetties, and I was able to usually pull one off there. As you can see here, I found a nice little Debo fish. Caught him on the spinnerbait. That's the name of the game today. He was a chunky little 1.5-pounder. Love catching some chunky fish on a spinnerbait. You can see there it's the white chartreuse, blue, nothing too crazy with it. And I just kept casting around, covering water, but like I said, they were not all bunched up. I was kind of surprised about filling a hole there, but luckily old Debo recovered. I'm pretty nimble. There we go. Another one on the wood. Another little 1.5-pounder. Right there on the wood pile. All right. 3 today on that. Blue chartreuse white spinnerbait. Chunky little dude. Well, just finding wood, points, anything where I think there could be some fish. That's been the deal for the day, I guess. Spots that should hold a fish, like wood and rocks. Dirt shallow right there, right as I was bringing it through the rocks. Pinning bait up in there. Another one, it's either been next to wood or off a little point. Little pounder. Still finding a few though, I'll take it. Don't have long, have to go get the kiddo, had the day off. This morning it was absolutely downpouring, so I wasn't able to get out till later. Only got a couple hours to fish, and there we go. I was trying to make the best of it before I got to go get the kiddos from school. That one hit it dirt shallow up here by these rocks. I wonder if we walk this rocky bank and see if there's more. Oh, there's another one that came out of the rocks. That's more like our regular Debo catches here. Little tiny fella. Thank you, dude. All right, and like clockwork, the old microphone decided to stop working again, but threw the spinnerbait out by a block of wood, and it's like crates and stuff out there. Anyway, this dude jumped off it, over 2 pounds, probably close to 2.5-pounder, come out and just nabbed it right off the edge of that. You can see I'm throwing the turtle back there with an orange kicker blade, still the 1/2 ounce. I like that. But he shot right out of there, super quick to grab it. And that's what I talk about. There was reaction bites by wood, rocks, anything like that. That's how we found him. Did you say Justin Beaver or just a beaver? Just in beaver.
If I catch this turtle, I'm throwing 2 higher pounders.
Cool, I'm going to snag it and then cut the line off and just take it. Look at there, another one on the spinnerbait. That dude was right under this tree. Fine wood. Bring spinnerbait by wood. Did you snag that beaver? Dizzle's over there snagging beavers. Ow! There we go, another little guy, spinnerbait. It's been the only thing to get bites. Minus the one little fish that was maybe 4 ounces that I almost sent to Wisconsin on the hook set.
Remember that last time we were out, or that one time we were out here, when I set the hook on a fish up here, and it flew up over my head and landed on the ground?
Hildebrand. Fishing friends, fun day of spinnerbait fishing on the water. Like I've said so many times, spinnerbaits truly were one of my very first confidence lures ever, you know, because all you had to do was tie one of these things on, throw it out, cast it, reel it in, and that's all you were doing. And, you know, as a young angler, it was hard for me to understand the jig, you know, what was a bite, what is a rock, what can be confusing. So I ended up turning to something like this, just a regular old spinnerbait, throw it out, reel it in. Soon became more confident with it, like where does it work, where does it not work? Well, it hangs up in grass or does really well around wood. And that's kind of helped me as an angler today when you put a lot of time in with a lure. You know, a lot of folks want to just pick up a lure and get good with it, but nothing replaces time on the water. So the more you throw a bait, the more you'll be comfortable with it, the more you'll learn the ins and outs. And that's the same for me with the spinnerbait. Wood and rock jetties, those were the two places where I caught fish. Showing that in this video is a perfect example of finding a pattern. I mean, I didn't really waste time on any of the other stuff. There were some spots with some good grass, didn't get a single bite. I pretty much hopped around to the spots where I could hit with my spinnerbait, the brush piles and the different little rock jetties. And it was weird because they weren't all bunched up yet. That video was actually a couple weeks ago, and they were just not bunched up. It got super cold, super quick here. Temperatures plummeted, and I need to get out and throw the spinnerbait more. Hopefully I'll get some time, but at least it was a fun day of catching a few on one of my favorites. Now, speaking of this being a favorite, I'll leave all the gear, the lures, I'm going to go over the rod and reel here. I'll leave all that link below over at Tackle Warehouse. Any of y'all use the link, a little bit of that does come back to me so I can get stuff for giveaways and such, because I am going to be doing another one coming up with this live Saturday. Watch the lives, they're fun. But the two that I was going back and forth between, this is the Finesse, and I'll take it out. Both of these are 1/2 ounce spinnerbaits, and you can see one definitely has a larger profile than the other. And what they did on the Finesse spinnerbait here, they took some of that lead and moved it back down the shank. Switch these around so you can see here on the original covert, it's a wire keeper there. So it's a 1/2 ounce head. All of that weight is up in the head here. All of that lead, that weight is up here. On the Finesse, they took some of that weight and put it back on the shank of the hook, so it gives you a smaller head and it gives you a little bit smaller profile overall. Switch back and forth between the two. I switched back and forth to like a turtleback blade, Ohio blade, I think they call it. Indiana, I switched to Colorado, so one with an orange kicker blade. They've got a ton of different combos out there. Play around with them and see what you like. And if you didn't get my joke in one of those spots I was talking about, Hildebrand, it's the blades they use. I don't know, some people care about that. I don't, as long as they spin and work, works for me. But yeah, I really do like the Booyah Covert spinnerbait. That's come out, I don't know, a few years back. I've used them ever since they came out and they work good. A lot of the old Booyah Booyah spinnerbaits I really used to like back in the day, and some of the Booyah buzz baits back in the day. Some of the stuff kind of changed. I didn't feel like they were as good recently, but the coverts have kind of taken that spot of a good Booyah spinnerbait. Like these a lot. Now, as for the combo, that day I was throwing this, the Daiwa Tatula 100. This is the new one, just came out this year, came out not too long ago. A very comfortable reel in hand. I don't know how well this is going to show, but I was talking about this on the live last week, that Daiwa reels I really like because I finger my line. So I have my pinky finger back here behind the reel trigger. I hold it here. That way if I'm, you know, flipping or pitching, I can feel that line with my finger. And with the Daiwa reels, to make sure it covers up the whole T-wing system, this piece kind of drops down a little bit farther. Your finger sits here, you never feel the line guide. If I compare that to a Shimano, this is the SLX, I think this is the normal one, the regular SLX. I put my finger here and that nut that holds the worm gear on there, see that? When I put my finger down there, my finger is rubbing right against that. You can see I'm just laying it right on that. So I feel that down there. For some people, that's a deal breaker. They don't like feeling any of that down there. Some people don't even hold their reel like that, so it doesn't make a darn scoot of a difference. But for me, that's something I noticed, and I really like the way the Daiwa reels have a little bit longer, straightforward nose end. So for me, the Tatula 100 fits extremely comfortable. I know people have talked about this part. They're like, what's the groove in the nose of the reel there? It's supposed to be for your thumb to sit in it. I would personally like it a little bit bigger. Maybe my thumbs are just a little bit big, but I wish it was just a little bit bigger. But it's a cool idea. It gives you a place to index and kind of grab your reel. But overall, man, the Tatula 100 casts really well. It's smooth, quiet. I was very happy with this purchase. I had to pair it up with the Tatula rod. This is the shallow cranking Topwater, which is a 7-foot medium. I actually thought this one was a medium heavy. It's kind of kind of stiffer for a medium, but rated for lures up to 3/4 of an ounce, through the 1/2 ounce spinnerbait well, throws a 1/2 ounce lipless well. You can throw larger top waters like a KVD Sexy Dog, or this is the Excite Baits Heckler, a little bit larger walking bait. Works real well for that. It's got more of that mod fast tip to it, so it bends down toward the middle more. I really liked it. The combo feels great. I had 15-pound fluorocarbon on here just as kind of my do-it-all for lipless spinnerbaits, and it felt absolutely awesome. So listen, comment below and let me know, what is a fall lure that you have really been catching fish on? I'd like to do some, you know, like fall spinnerbait versus chatterbait. It's literally getting to the end of the season here, and I'm already thinking about, oh, there's supposed to be snow next week. Maybe we'll be ice fishing. I don't want to give up that early. Maybe I'll talk about some finesse, late fall stuff when the water really gets cold. I don't know. Comment below and let me know what you guys would like to see. Today's subscribed fishing friend has to be old Rand Dizzle. Dizzle decided to go off on his own, little adventure, do his own stuff. He was scared of the otters and beavers and stuff. I don't know what he was doing. He made a couple little guest appearances in there, but I love the guy. I pick on him a ton, and I wouldn't do that if I didn't like him. So Dizzle, maybe next time you'll stick with me and fish a spinnerbait instead of doing whatever in the hell you were doing over there in the woods. I don't even know. He found a puzzle box for like geocaching and spent 30 minutes solving this puzzle box. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Anyway, Dizzle, come with me next time. Everybody else out there, thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all. Again, I would not be here if it was not for every single one of you who watch and support. So that's it for me. Gotta edit. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Till next time.